black church, y'all. I know how we are, okay? And you ain't got to admit it, okay? Because I know. So you don't have to admit it. But literally, and even if we take it out of church, when we talk about black culture, I'm going to be real with you and tell you that black culture has never really been one that has embraced the LGBTQIA community. This is just a reality.
So you know how I made a few videos about a month or two ago, and probably even longer, talking about how there was an agenda to queer the black church, how there was an agenda to fully implement the LGBTQ plus ideology within the black church, how you had Jamal Bryant going to Bishop O.C. Allen and apologizing for the black church's attitude towards the LGBTQ community, how you had this guy talking about the queering of the black church. I've been talking about this for a while. And so when you hear Jasmine Crockett speaking to a church, speaking to an anniversary program for a church, this happened at a hotel, but she was still speaking to a church, you see the agenda that the Democrats and the liberals and the Marxists and the communists have been pushing for all along when it comes to black Christians. Because you have to understand something. By and large, Christians who are black are still the most conservative, are still the ones that hold out traditional values when it comes to human sexuality. But that is in direct opposition to the God of blackness. That is in direct opposition to the Marxists and the communists and the socialists who want to use black people and continue to use black people to further their agenda, to further their aim to remake America in a Marxist, communist, socialist, perverted image. And so they have to dispatch plants like Jasmine Crockett to berate black people into accepting the LGBTQ plus. And they've done a great job because a number of quote unquote black pastors are acquiescing to this stuff. And it's the same thing they've been doing in Hollywood when it comes to black men. The agenda is the same. The agenda is to reduce the number of black people in America. And it's a weird agenda because they use black people to further their aim. They use black people to push racism and push grievance and push Marxism and communism and push and continue to divide us among ethnicity. Yet at the same time, they want to reduce the number of black people. And so it's a detrimental thing to black people on both ends. But they've been doing this for a long time in Hollywood. And another thing they've been doing is trying to ensure that people don't know how to diversify their retirement portfolios. With everything that's happening with the stock market crashing, with the value of the dollar decreasing, it's time to make sure that we have our retirement portfolios diversified. And you can diversify by ensuring you incorporate precious metals like gold and silver into your retirement portfolio. Visit thebiblicalconservative.com/gold and click on the link in the description to download a free resource. But Martin's not the only one. There's a plethora of black comedians, black men, black actors who have decided to put on a dress. And that has been the agenda all along, to feminize straight black men and make it more appealing and normalized in the black community.
So what do you think? It's never been done before. 3 lovable drag queens driving cross country, helping middle America solve its problems.
Y'all want me to wear a dress?
Foolish. This isn't a throwaway role. You'll be carrying the emotional energy of the movie.
Man, it's not that I don't appreciate the offer, because I do, but...
All we're asking you to do is to take the script home, read it, and make a decision.
Then make the decision.
Foolish. There's a lot of money involved in it.
We're talking a major motion picture here, Foolish.
Can't hurt. All right.
Yo, what's up, money? You got a problem? Nah, yo, hold my poodle, huh?
And here come the Cardinals. And from the looks of it, the new pope is not Turkson. The new pope is 9-year-old Oscar nominee, Conventioné Wallace.
Brahman's gonna do the news, and we got some great guests coming in. Hey, what are you guys laughing at so much? I think I paid them too much. Jerk.
Can they take me to a movie, show me a lovely evening, then I will take him home and...
Please welcome to the Stellar Awards, the one and only Sister Bernice Jenkins.
And so I had to pause on this one. This is at the Stellar Awards. This is a celebration of black gospel music. And Ricky Smiley is in a dress.
Yes, I have a white wine.
Okay. And for you, miss?
Lucky winner of the Gemini Croquette Contest.
Coming at you live from Floston.
Paradise! Ruby Rod at your service for 2 hours with Lusky covered in the...
It's like living in a Tex Avery cartoon. I think
my mouth is closed, but these hands is open for me.
I only go to church for 2 reasons, weddings and funerals. Wonder what I'm dressed for today.
So I want to show you that montage of black comedians and black actors who have worn dresses, who have pretended to be women. It's all an agenda to normalize drag queens. Why do you think RuPaul's Drag Race is so popular right now? That's all an attempt to feminize straight black men. It's been an agenda for years, for centuries. It's always been the case. And people, because they have a love for money, decide to put their integrity on the side and put on a dress to feminize themselves. They don't know what they're doing to themselves, and they don't know what they're doing to the image of black men in America. Terrence Howard went on a Patrick Bet-David show, and he said he was going to keep his man card. He was not tossing his man card aside.
And when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
Man, I mean, you know, one of the things you're seeing, you went to a whole different place.
Sorry.
No, I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Yeah.
What was the consequence when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music, and he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, you know, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you like, or looking at you like you're a woman. You know, when you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that because the man card means everything.
And this is what Jesus said in Matthew 16, verse 25. I'll start there. For whoever desires to save his life will lose it. But whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. For what profit is it to a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? Or what will a man give in exchange for his soul? A lot of people have exchanged their soul for temporary success, temporary accolades, temporary fame, things that pass away. But when that fame and the shine rubs off of you, all you have left is your soul being gone, your soul being exchanged for momentary fame, momentary glory, earthly gains. And it's sad to say too many people in the church are exchanging the truth of God's word for the government protection, for momentary celebration. They be celebrity Christians, and they will exchange things for their soul. They will bend over, like Terrence Howard said, all for the sake of man's glory. And that's what makes them victims. We're not victims. We are empowered for greatness.